Racing has deep roots in America's South. In the beginning, it was men like Haroon, De Palma, and Chevrolet chasing the grand prize. Now it's men like Larson, Simmons, D'Amata, and Neves. Open-wheeled racing has deep roots in America's host city, Savannah, Georgia. And today, the PPG Firestone Indy Lights Championship has brought it back. Carved from the beautiful landscape of Hutchinson Island in Savannah Harbor, Georgia, a brand new Grand Prize circuit stands ready for the assault of the PPG Firestone Indy Lights Championship. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris McClure. Welcome to Savannah and the return of auto racing to this great city in the South. It's been absent for 86 years, but now with the arrival of round number 4 of the 1997 PPG Firestone Indy Lights Championship, it has returned. Happily, we're joined by Mark Blundell, our analyst for this race here in the sunny South. Mark, you've had an opportunity in an Indycar to run on this brand new circuit. Your impressions?
Very impressed. It's a fantastic facility. It's got some very interesting corners, and it's got a European flavor to the track.
Now, when you put a new track together with a relatively young field of racing drivers, such as we have in this series, tactically, how should they approach this in order to get to the end of the day?
Well, of course, they can be open-minded. It's the same for everybody out there. Nobody's got any track data. So they've got to see how they're going to develop with the circuit. We may know that conditions might change. They might keep intact, and tyres may be a key issue for this race.
Well, new track or not, those that have been hot this year sometimes do stay hot. And that's the case in our Sea-Doo Ski-Doo Pole Award. Here's Marty Reed.
Well, Chris, it's an all Tasman Motorsports front row, and the man, the only man, to break the 1-minute 5-second barrier is on my left, pole sitter Helio Castroneves. And I got to tell you, it was one heck of a lap. But we can't just talk about that, because in the morning warm-up, you had a little tangle with the wall.
That's right. Not only the warm-up, of course, and before the qualifying yesterday, I had also an incident. But the team's doing a superb job. I mean, all the car all the time when I came to the track, it's really damn fast. So I just doing my good job, and it's a very good team.
Well, I got to ask you one other quick question. It's your teammate right alongside of you. You guys have gone up through the ranks through karting and everything down through Brazil. What's going to happen if it comes down to the end of the race between you two?
Well, definitely Tony's a very good race car driver, and we know since very early in the go-karts. So I'm sure on the racetrack nobody will remember that. Just keep looking at the front, close the visor, and try to do the best. And I'm sure it will be a very good battle between me and him, and of course always good for Marlboro Tasman.
Chris, I don't want to give him any bad news, but the fastest guy in the morning warm-up turned out to be David Empringham. These guys got their hands full.
And, well, they should. That's the name of the game. Competition among all the runners and riders. You see the lights out on the pace car beginning to pull away with Helio Castroneves, his third pole of the year in front. Tony Kanaän tucked in the number 7 machine just behind him. The matched Tasman racers all red as they move into the final turn under the Firestone Bridge. Now beginning to form up in rows of 2. They'll be looking at Gordon Ensing at the other end of this straightaway. When they get to race speed, Mark Blundell, at turn 1, and the turning point, they'll be at about 150 miles an hour. The first 4 or 5 rows in pretty good shape, and we have contact back in the field as they came off the corner. We do get a green flag, and somebody's lost a wing back there in the middle of the pack, but we're racing at Savannah. We may go to a yellow immediately off that, but through turn 1, it looks okay up front.
Looks good. I mean, there was a bit of a shame for that guy there. He just got loose off of that turn there onto the grid there, and he's lost his nose already, so that could be the end of his race.
And you see a big pack up as they jockey for position in the early going. In the first couple of rows, Luis Garcia Jr., no scoring so far this year. Sergio Paese in the 4 car. Keep an eye on him. And Osvaldo Negre, number 97, all with their best qualifying of the year. And there's David Empringham in the blue number 33, quickest in the warm-up this morning. He has a good prospect of moving forward. Won at Homestead and, of course, was the champion back in 1996. The number 4 machine moving into the lead pack, and also Empringham right there. He's picked up a couple of spots already as we work lap number 1 in anger here at Savannah, and they're locking them up. Hard braking into the corner. That was 99 Lee Bentham in the team car along with David Empringham. Pretty tough spot right there for braking. And there you see the debris on the front straightaway just opposite the pits, and now we have more debris flying around as they run over some of that. So some of them perhaps risking a cut tire here.
That's very dangerous there. There's all that debris on the circuit, and if they do get a cut in the tire, especially going to this turn 1, it's the fastest corner on the circuit. If they have a blowout of a tire, it could be very dangerous.
Well, those Firestones are rugged customers in terms of racing equipment, but you can't ask too much of them, even in this situation. And there you see Lee Bentham picking up a spot as he swings by the 25 car of Naoki Hattori, trying to move up through the pack. Bentham coming out of the Atlantic discipline, a very good racer at that level, and certainly showing his stuff at times early in 1997, but still looking for better results than he's gotten so far. He's had some difficulty mechanically as well as at Nazareth when he found the wall right at the beginning of the race. There you see the leaders, 1, 2, and 3. The 4 car, Sergio Paese, who has not run the ovals, only ran at Long Beach, and now with this road circuit back in action, and he's staying right with the leaders. And there's David Empringham coming back in the 4th position. He started in the 6th spot. So we have Helio Castroneves, Tony Kanaän, and Paese, the top 3. There's the race leader, Helio Castroneves, 3 poles this year, well in the championship hunt with a victory at Long Beach already on his resume, followed by his teammate Tony Kanaän, who's 5th in the points and looking for his first victory this year. He was a factor in the championship last year and will be all this summer long. Right behind him, Sergio Paese, who is showing a nice bit of patience there as he keeps the pressure up on Tony Kanaän. The 31 machine, Luis Garcia Jr., has fallen back a couple of spots as he gets the rhythm of the course, Mark Blundell, but I think he'll be heard from before the day is done. Only his 2nd race of the year.
Yeah, what we're going to look for now, Chris, the race is just developing, and the guys are sorting themselves out. They're going to be looking for overtaking places. And the overtaking spots around here should be into turn 2, coming off a 1 if you can get behind someone nice and close, and also on that back straight going in there underneath in the 2nd gear left-hander. But it's particularly bumpy there, and braking can be an issue there when you're inside someone.
Osvaldo Negri also in his 2nd race this year, having skipped the ovals in his rookie campaign, is showing quite nicely here just in front of the 99 car of Lee Bentham at the moment. That is a pretty good fight between those 3 for 5th, 6th, and 7th. The back up front, it is Helio Castroneves putting a little space. He's drawing slowly but steadily away from those in 2nd and 3rd, and there's that fight once again. The 31 machine in the foreground is Garcia, followed by Negri, and then Lee Bentham, and right behind them we have the number 25 machine. That's from the Team Green stable, Naoki Hattori, who's had some pretty solid moments this year. His presence on the team overshadowed by Simmons and Hotchkiss, but a very capable runner as well, as you see them running nose to tail, the 4 of them, 5th through the 9th position. A very grippy track. I think everyone, including yourself, have discovered that with the first few laps around, and you have to manage your tires very well on a grippy track. It gives you one thing, takes another, and it's a tough bridge to walk on.
That's exactly right, and the other issue is brakes as well. This circuit's pretty hard on brakes. If you brake deep into the corners, there's wear on the brakes, but also, again, wear on those tires. You need the retardation from the rubber on the tire, and, you know, they're just going to have to pace themselves and just see where they go. Just develop and just take it easy. It's 50 laps in this race.
That brake point, they just came through the last corner. You said there were some ripples in the pavement, which made it a little tricky braking back there.
It is tricky. There are some ripples coming off the back straight, and, you know, that's only going to get worse, I feel, as traffic goes around this racetrack.
So the front 3 continuing to pull away a bit, spaced between 3rd and 5th is David Empringham running a solo race at the moment, and then this fight for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th as they run nose to tail. Nothing changed in the last couple of laps, but the pressure is up, although Hattori has broken off a little bit, falling behind Lee Bentham in the 99 machine. There you see the first 3. There comes Hattori, and just behind him in the number 21 machine, that's Christophe Tinso, the rookie out of France, who had a huge crash in the season opener at Homestead, but recovered nicely and has gotten his rhythm back as a racer in this series since then in the other 2 races at Long Beach and Nazareth. Marty, you've got an update?
Well, you guys were talking about David Empringham and how he made a quick early move. When they first came to the track, they were sort of out to lunch by even their own admission. But great communication between Empringham and Lee Dykstra, and they have slowly but surely dialed this car in. They were the quickest in the morning warm-up, and Empringham, with all that experience, and you mentioned it, Mark, about taking care of the tires, and I think he's settling in because I'm timing Castroneves. He is running a 106 pace, and Mark, you'd know best about that. Qualifying was about 105. That might be a little quick.
It could be a little bit quick, and you're right. The tyres is a big issue, and I think Eppermann's probably got a good race car. He's got it well set up, and that probably develops a good pace for him in the warm-up. So he knows what he's got underneath him. He's going to look to see what's going to develop in front, and you know, maybe towards the end of this race, he's going to make some moves.
He's a very, very smooth driver and has a history of taking care of the equipment. Certainly, tires are part of that. The other thing is, you're running a 106 versus a 105 or 104 and decimals qualifying. It's not unusual with this series, no pit stop scheduled, to run at race speed just about where they qualified. In fact, we remember that great oval race in Michigan last year when they were 3 miles an hour quicker in the race than the pole speed overall. Look at the race leader. That is Helio Castroneves, who went wire to wire for victory at Long Beach from pole. There's second place, Tony Kanaän. The third place car is Sergio Paese. And in the pits, we have Chris Simmons, who just a moment ago was off course and ran into a car that had preceded him off course, that of number 34, Jacques Lazier. Simmons lost the nose cone and superstructure at the front of the car, was able to get back around to the pits, and you can see, Mark Blundell, the repairs are underway, and of course the construction of these cars lets them fix that pretty quickly. Meantime, back up front, the two Tasman teammates are pulling away from everybody else with their order unchanged, but Neves very comfortable now. He seems to have it totally under control. You mentioned a moment ago that Jacques Lazier had gotten off. Chris Simmons followed him a moment later and lost the front of his car. The full course yellow is to go get the number 34 machine of Mr. Lazier. They single file out and turn through turn number 9. A couple of more turns and they'll see the flag stand. And Helio Castroneves is making a move already, Mark Blundell, to pull away. It's his pace to set, and he wants to go in a hurry.
Looks like he's broken away a bit too quick there. It'll be interesting to see if they let the start go. But, you know, that's going to be disappointing for him. He was making up a nice buffer, and all of a sudden he's back into a yellow situation. He's got to restart. He's going to make that buffer all over again.
Now he moves into that left-hander that's turn 1. High speed right here on the entry as we take a look at Lee Bentham, who's been climbing up through the field. Fourth place still belongs to his teammate, David Empringham. Good drive for Bentham, and Tony Kanaän tries to peek underneath and locks up the brakes. He's going to give up positions. May have hurt the tires desperately, but the second and third place positions go away. Also fourth, perhaps. He's in a fight to keep that. Bentham right there, along with 97. That's Osvaldo Negri trying to get through Tony Kanaän, who made a little bit of a mistake, and it's costing him.
Yes, he made a big mistake there. He just tried to slide underneath there, Neves, and he's blocked his tyres. Now we've got to see whether they've got some vibration. He may have flat spotted those tyres, and he may have to carry that for the duration of the race.
So that changes it around considerably. Neves still on the point, followed by Paese, then David Empringham, then the 25 machine, and fifth place now belongs to Lee Bentham. So a couple of the blue cars up front once again, and there you see Tony Kanaän trying to get his momentum back and feel out the car and see if he heard it there when he locked it up. Take a look at it once more, Mark.
Yeah, you see him, he's coming underneath the guy here, but he's not nowhere near close enough, and he's just locked up because Neves is starting to turn in, just sliding off wide, picking up a bit of dust on his tyres. Loses a lot of momentum now, and the other guys capitalize on that.
Let's go down to the pits. Marty Reed.
Well, part of the problem may be that Tony there's a series of 4 throttle springs, and he is coming into the pits, so this is a bit of a surprise. They caught the team out. Oh, and the front wing is damaged, so he has had to stop, and the motor is shut off. He had a throttle spring, 1 of 4, that went completely broken, and it softened up the pedal for him, so it may have been an adjustment that he just wasn't able to make in that cockpit. He's very frustrated, the crew working feverishly to fix this wing, but his chances of victory have just gone down the tube.
Meantime, his teammate, Helio Castroneves, moving out front. We couldn't see it clearly, Mark Blundell, but he must have touched the back of his teammate's car and damaged that wing, and perhaps there was something else wrong with the car that caused him to lock up the brakes and create the entire situation. But there you see 1 through 5, 1 through 6 as they move single file through the back sections of the course. Helio Castroneves at the front, followed by Paese and David Empringham, who's had a couple of there. We have a little more tire smoke from number 25, Naoki Hattori. He talked about the ripples on the pavement, making it delicate braking in some instances, and as we get into the race further, that becomes an issue perhaps even greater than it was at the beginning.
Yeah, it is going to be an issue as the race goes on, but at this point in time, you know, your heart goes out to Kanaän. He's just left some space for him to do a lot of work now, and also Chris Simmons. I mean, the guy was championship leader, and he's way back in the field at this point. I'm keeping my eye out for Robbie Unser in the PacWest Motorola car. We're both running in the same colours with the same sponsor, and Robbie's having a good race at the moment. He's making some headway, just trying to go down the inside there of the Marta by the looks of it. All blocking up big time there. That's going to cost everybody.
Well, no. We get Unser's taken off to the outside. I think that's D'Amata also involved there. So Cristiano D'Amata coming from the back, and Unser also trying to come from the back, which he's done several times this year. And both of them ride off together into the tires. They buried the noses, probably wing damage if nothing else. And whether they'll be able to continue is that's a question right now. Let's take another look at it.
That's a great shame. I think actually what they've done is set up from the 27 car blocking its wheels, and they've both panicked, so especially D'Amata, and he's gone wide. And Robbie was unfortunately already on the outside of the guy and took him with him.
Just got caught out there, the 27 machine out of Mark Hotchkiss, who was developing the tire smoke into the corner. There's the leader, Helio Castroneves, with Paese just behind him. David Empringham is the next one up the track, and then Osvaldo Negri Jr. in the 4th position. 5th place occupied right now by 99 Lee Bentham. And we got is that a flat right rear on the number 8 machine? It looked like that tire might have gone down a little bit.
It did look a bit suspect there. We'll have to wait and see whether the camera can give us a better shot.
Talking about the number 8 machine coming at you right now, and in that one corner, maybe just a reflection off the car, the pavement. Looks okay there, but I wasn't quite sure about the condition of that car as they went around that last turn, and we have gone to a full course yellow. They'll go out and get the D'Amata and Unser cars. Now, everything's fine, it appears.
It looks okay. I mean, this is another frustrating time now for Neves. He's building up a lead again. Now we've got a full course yellow, and now the guys have all got to calm down. They've got to keep the tires up to temperature and get ready again for a big restart.
Let's go back to Marty Reed.
Yes, we're down here with Tony Kanaän. You know, we were supposed to talk about 100 yards from here at the end of the race. That's what you told me before. And the throttle spring, is that what caused the contact?
Yeah, unfortunately, and I think the lap number 6, the spring of the throttle broken, and I got my throttle down all the time, and I tried to keep the car running, and I did it pretty well. But unfortunately, and after the restart, I think I used too much the throttle and the straightaway, and when I'm arrived at the end of the pit and end of the straightaway, the corner number 3, I brake and the throttle is still stuck, and I'm very scared because I go to put Helio out of the race. So if I'm out, okay, but I don't want to put him, so I hope him. I think he did a pretty good job, and we go to win with him. Next time it's me.
Hey guys, if the throttle stuck on my car, even if it was at 35 miles an hour, I'd be puckering up too.
Indeed, that's a difficult situation out there at race speed. There you saw the pace car and the field now bunched up in single file, keeping the tires warm and clean. Here's the reason for the yellow, as D'Amata and Unser are into the tires, the kart safety team on hand to clear them away. Helio Castroneves is our leader, followed by Paese and David Empringham. We're at Savannah. We'll be back. Helio Castroneves having a very fine season in 1997. The young Brazilian with a great future. Let's meet him. The rapidly expanding list of exceptional Brazilian racers now plying their craft in North America includes affable and talented Helio Castroneves, a product of the traditional training ladder that began in go-karts and evolved to Formula 3 both at home and in Europe. Neves had already demonstrated his winning touch before casting his lot with Team Tasman and the PVG Firestone Indy Lights Championship last year. 3 podiums and a victory later, Neves claimed 7th in the championship and was immediately numbered among the favorites for this year's title. And if he stays in the position he's in, he will lead the points coming off the 4th race here in Savannah. 2 more turns and we should get a green flag. He tries to pull away, but Sergio Paese, who I think looks a little bit impatient as the laps wear along, Mark Blundell, he didn't really go with him that quickly on this restart, so he'll go into this big sweeping left-hander that's turn number 1. A few car lengths behind as we see them unfold in single file on the front straightaway. One pass being executed in mid-pack, and that's Fredrik Larsen, who moves through to pick up 1 position, trying to pick up some valuable points here. And the dicing back in the field is beginning to unfold rapidly. There are the front 2, and again, Helio Castroneves with a pretty good start.
Yeah, very good start, but I think Sergio Paese is having a good solid look at him there. He's running very well, and I think there's good potential in to have a sneak through and maybe go underneath Neves at one point.
And the 97 car, Osvaldo Negri Jr., is in the 3rd position on the racetrack. We believe he passed David Empringham under the yellow, and we may get a ruling that would be not in his favor and make him a little bit less happy than he might be right now. And you can see Lee Bentham and David Empringham, 33 and 99, trying to retake him on the racetrack, especially Empringham, who had been sailing along in the 3rd position. Lee Bentham right there. There goes Empringham up the outside. Bentham had actually gotten past Empringham as well, and a big clutch of them on the front straightaway, with Negri, the first one in the frame. The two blue cars are the teammates, Bentham and Everingham, and down to the inside, we also have a move underway from one of the team green cars, number 25, Naoka Hattori, who's been acquitting himself quite nicely here today, and number 31 is involved. Luis Garcia Jr. also moving down to the inside as he gets by the 33 car of Everingham. So David Everingham is moving back quickly, all of a sudden out that restart.
Yeah, Negri there was actually making himself very wide in a couple of places on the circuit, and I think he was frustrating Everingham. That also caused him to bunch up, and I think maybe it would have cost him dearly in position as well.
Everingham now in a sandwich there. Christoph Tinso, the number 21 car, the orange one in the frame, is trying to take Everingham as well. There you see the front two, they're pulling away. Then Negri, and then Lee Bentham in the number 99 machine. Everingham was listed 5th a while ago, but he's fallen behind the number 31 of Luis Garcia. There's Christoph Tinso, and the number 26 car, that's Simmons, but he's well back in the standings. Also in that group of cars, number 27, Mark Hotchkiss, who didn't qualify all that well, but certainly has been having a decent season and is a contender for the championship as well. And the black flag being displayed on the front straightaway for number 97, Osvaldo Negri. So he's going to have to come in and pay a penalty and give up that position, shuffling everyone else forward just a little bit. That's quite a turn there, that left-hander in turn number 1. High-speed sweeper, and you said there's some ripples in the middle of the corner, Mark?
There is some ripples in the apron of that turn there, and it's unusual. It's got a high degree of banking on it for a temporary course, and there's some differential now to what we call this track. Is it a road course or is it a street course? But as you say, that turn 1 is very fast entry, the fastest entry on the whole circuit.
All of the turns here are banked at least to some degree, and that's pretty unusual for this sort of a circuit, rights and lefts turns.
It's very unusual, but it's a good track. I mean, it's very nice to drive. It's got a lot of flow to it, very fluid, and I think a lot of guys are enjoying racing out there.
This time around, number 97, Osvaldo Negri Jr. from Genoa Racing should answer the black flag, and we get a bit of tire smoke down to the inside as number 16, that's Shigeaki Hattori, moves through for a position, picking up a spot on the track. A lot of close racing in packs up and down the field. This is terrific, not just for the lead where we have two cars fighting it out, but everywhere you look.
Very good racing. Hattori did a very good move there. He just locked his brakes going in, but he had a solid inside line, blocked out the opponent there, and also, if you see, the guy that got overtaken just got eaten up by the rest of the pack.
Yeah, he'll fall all the way back. Negri paying the penalty, a double penalty, we are advised. One for blocking, one for passing under the yellow. So he got a double dip and paid one penalty for it, but he gives up that position on the track and probably won't be able to make the podium from that position anymore.
No, I think the penalty there is probably justified, especially for the blocking. He made himself very wide.
Well, we talked a moment ago about the penalty, the double whammy on Negri, and apparently he broke the speed limit in the pits, paying the first penalty. I think he's going to be called back in. So his day's gone from bad to worse all of a sudden. There's the leader again, Helio Castroneves, in the number 8 machine. Race leader Helio Castroneves in turn 1 once again at Savannah, drawing away steadily from Sergio Paese as he seeks his second victory of the 1997 PPG Firestone Indy Lights Championship. Very, very smooth, very confident, always with a smile on his face, and now about to overtake some traffic. That's not yet, Mark, been an issue in this race, but every time you come up on somebody, you must tiptoe at least for a moment. Taking a look at the gap back to David Everingham. He's off the final turn and onto the straightaway, but you can see it's growing more and more. And as you suggested a few moments ago, Mark, perhaps giving up too much per lap to save the tires, if indeed that was their intent to begin with.
Yeah, I think he may have left it a little bit too late. We've covered maybe 35 laps or so now, and it's going to be difficult for him to make up that gap. He's probably wishing that there's going to be a yellow in incident so he can get on the top of the leaders again and start pushing into those 1 minute 5 lap times.
He came into the event tied for 6th in the championship, and of course being on the podium and gaining ground in points on everybody else except maybe one ahead of you. The only guy that can gain ground on David Everingham is Helio Castroneves. So running a solid third and settling for the points becomes an advisable decision, at least at some point.
Yeah, at this stage of the season, it's still good to consolidate and get those strong, solid point finishes. But again, you know, he's probably going to be coming off of this race in a little bit better frame of mind, and hopefully the car's going to be better balanced the next time he goes out, and he's going to look for the win.
So there's Neves, there's Paese, and they're into turn number 1 once again. Paese Swings it down low. Sweeping turn. Some had suggested they should have made that a more radical left-hander to provide a good passing zone because you would be required to brake there. But I kind of like the way they set it up.
Well, you know, you still have to brake there. You're coming down just one gear and turn the car in. And because it's so fast as well, you make just a little bit of a mistake, you're going to be onto somebody by the exit of that into turn 2. So you can still overtake. And Noda's making some good impressions into the guy in front there, and, you know, he's an XF1 guy. He's done 3 races in Formula 1 with the Team LaRousse. Didn't really have much success. The package wasn't that great, but he's definitely going to have a move on this guy now.
And Mark Hotchkiss right there with them, keeping an eye on it. Noda goes to the high side in turn number 1. Tough place to pass out there. You give up some pavement to make the move. Can he? He's alongside. Can he make it stick? It doesn't look like it. We'll wait and see at the exit here. But he's really not in the perfect position for the left-hander upcoming.
Well, if he stays there, oh no, he just got a little bit loose and got a bit wide. But that was unfortunate. He would have made a very good move if he could have pulled it off. He went the high side, the long way round, and that's going to be tough. But, you know, 10 out of 10 for effort.
And now he's got Hotchkiss all over his rear wing. Looked like he blocked him pretty good there and that little short shoe.
Yeah, he just got to give himself a bit of breathing space. He went wide, lost some momentum. Hotchkiss is on his backside now, but, you know, if he can make his break again and get back onto Dare, I think he'd be pulling that position off of him.
And there he is, number 8, Helio Castroneves. Not a foot wrong today as he continues to lead. He has since the beginning, from pole to the checkered flag, perhaps. We'll be back. Helio Castroneves dealt with some traffic while we were away cleanly. Paese did the same, and now they share the same straightaway once again. But Helio Castroneves has it covered. Mark Blundell, from what we've seen, hasn't put a foot wrong, and he's tough to beat, even if he makes a little twitch here and there.
Well, he's just got the car on the edge. I mean, he's got the car perfectly balanced by the looks of things. Oh.
That's Noda and Simmons still fighting with Ayrton Dare in front of them. And Hideki Noda's used a lot of racetrack to keep Simmons behind him. That was a pretty clear block once again. We've seen that a moment ago. And there goes Noda down to the inside against Ayrton Dare on the straightaway. He's got the inside position as he runs through some debris. Everybody swings wide for entry into this sweeping left-hander, and Noda got him. But can Dare answer underneath? It looks like he might, as Noda carries it very wide on the corner. Now side by side on the exit, right where he was a few laps ago. Can he make it stick this time? He cannot.
Oh,
and
no.
Simmons loops it around as Jeff Boss right there. They touch, and 11th and 12th are suddenly scrubbed from those two fellows, and Mark Hotchkiss backs it in toward the tires. I don't know if he made contact with the tires, but his car is stopped by the side of the road. A big, disappointing moment for Mark Hotchkiss. Take a look again, Mark.
Yeah, the blue car there just tucked up the inside, and Hotchkiss turns in, just catches his right front there on that blue car there, number 12, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate for him.
And Jeff Boss did see a couple of cars swing by, so now it's down to Noda and Dare for those positions, with Jeff Boss and Mark Hotchkiss having disappeared. And now Boss, this is probably the result of that contact, at least that's my assumption, as Boss has slowed down course. He'll apparently see if he can limp it back to the pits, or perhaps find a runoff where he can get to a safe spot. And there goes Mark Hotchkiss, who's already climbed out of the car. Second straight race where points have been denied him after a great start in the first 2 events this year.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Both these guys are out of the race. Hotchkiss is out the car and he's safe, but number 12 there, yeah, he's out of contention altogether. That right front won't be repairable.
Jeff Boss was having one of his better runs, frankly, in the 1997 season, running in the points just behind Mark Hotchkiss a moment ago. Yellow flags being displayed at the front straightaway, and again, we're going back to a full course yellow in Savannah. This may be the moment that David Empringham was waiting for.
Exactly. This is the time which is going to be crucial now. We're getting towards the end of the race. Empringham, if he's looked after his tyres and he feels strong, he should be able to get on the back of Neves and Paese, and we should see a real good race in their hands.
So the pace car has been dispatched in the late race laps here at Savannah, and the lead built up by Helio Castroneves is going to go away, and we apparently will have a back marker or two between the front two and David Empringham when we get to the restart. We'll know more about that in just a couple of moments, but again, they slowed them down, and move through the twisty bits on the back. Decent crowd on hand here in Savannah enjoying this inaugural race. The first time in 86 years open wheelers have been in this city. Welcome back to Savannah. We expect a restart coming off the yellow momentarily. Already on the front straightaway, Helio Castroneves followed by Sergio Paese. The 20 machine of John Jones is sandwiched behind them among some of the other contenders. There's David Empringham in the middle of the straightaway right now, fighting for his life to keep third as he's getting heavy pressure from just behind. Number 31, Luis Garcia, is right there, and also his teammate Lee Bentham is right there. You see the black car on the right side of the screen. That's the back marker, Jones, and he gave him some room through the corner, at least the first three of them to slip through, and then right behind them, number 25, Naoki Hattori, gets by Jones. So those people, in terms of podium contenders, have cleared the back marker. One of them, Ayrton Dare, puts a tire off. Christophe Tinsault's right there. Also, one of the Mears gang, Clint Mears, has moved up into points right now in 12th position. He's in that group of cars you see right in front of us. Helio Castroneves, Paese, Empringham, Garcia Jr., Lee Bentham, all of which could still win this race, it would appear, with just a few miles, a few laps to go.
Some great dicing going on out there, but Empringham actually made a little bit of a bad restart there. He went very wide on the last turn just before the restart, lost himself some track time, and Neves and Paese have broken away yet again. All incident.
Contact in that group of 4 or 5 cars. It looked like Tinsault got a wing up behind somebody, may have touched, as they dice into the breaking point on the left-hander right there. Frederick Larson also involved in that mess as all of them moved through the final turn and onto the front straightaway. Mess in the sense that, boy, they're just everywhere, all over the track with debris flying. That's tough driving.
Yeah, they've just got to settle down a little bit. They've got a few laps left. He's gone very wide and got very loose up on the high side of the circuit. A lot of dust there, but they've just got to settle down. There's 7 or so laps left.
That was Lee Bentham who got wide and gave up some space on the racetrack. Number 25 moved by him, that being Naoki Hattori picking up a spot, and also Dare in there, number 57, Didier Andre in that group of cars. There's number 31, Luis Garcia. Now, all kinds of position changes and a lot of twitching from the cars. People trying to get power down in a hurry off these corners and kicking the back end out.
They're all trying to get that last position now. It's the end of the race coming close by, and they want to get some valuable points.
Here's a good fight right now as they move down the straightaway. Number 2, Ayrton Dare against number 31, Luis Garcia. Number 25 is Naoki Hattori there with Dare all over his rear wing right now. And, oh, my goodness, Hattori almost turned right into Dare.
Dare made a good move there. He did a very good move. Slipped up the inside, took him by surprise. And now we can just see whether Hattori can get on the back of him again and maybe make the toe into turn 1.
Dare on the inside to the right of the screen into turn number 1. So he has position. And Lee Bentham, something's gone wrong with the car, maybe, but he's backing up considerably since the restart and under heavy pressure once again as he tries to fight for position now further and further back. Is that David Empringham? That's Empringham backing up. I'm sorry. And we have a big crash on the final turn. Empringham is involved. Also, Larson is involved there. Luis Garcia, I believe, is involved in it. As they weave their way through, we'll identify all of those involved. But David Empringham, who looked like a sure podium finisher just a couple of moments ago, is suddenly stopped sideways on the course. The yellow will fly, and Helio Castroneves still leads the race.
You can only imagine that Empringham had maybe a slow puncher or something there, because he was dropping back very, very quickly, and the car looks a little bit loose. It definitely came loose off of that corner. Oh, he actually went high and just touched the wall, so maybe he done some damage there, or maybe got a cut in the tire. So that's going to be a big problem now.
So with the yellow displayed on the front straightaway, the white flag also comes out. You see the pace car coming out of the pits as Helio Castroneves moved by. He slows down to let the pace car get its position. Sergio Paese closes up behind him in third place. On our scoring monitor belongs to Lee Bentham, the blue car you see in the screen right there. And then the number 31 machine, that belongs to Luis Garcia Jr., who is in the 4th spot. Let's take a look at it once again. It's Noda and Empringham side by side.
Yeah, Noda's on the outside there. Empringham just on the inside. Noda just coming up. And they touch there. Look, there's an incident between the two of them there. And Empringham clips the wall maybe. Oh, look.
He got sideways and someone took his front off the car. And Noda continued on down the course at least a little ways. And now all the kart safety people are on hand to assist. David Empringham we see climbing out of the car, so he's apparently okay walking away under his own power. But suddenly points have gone away.
Yeah, points are lost. And that's just one of those incidents. That was a pure racing incident. Noda had a line, Empringham had the line. One of them just needed to give way. And they said maybe Empringham should have just backed out of that and maybe had another run down the straight, because Noda had the inside line there and was definitely on him.
So a good recovery for him to come back and contest so well at Savannah. And you see the fists already from Helio Castroneves, a fellow who, if he's quick in practice with two teams at some track in the middle of the week, feels great about it.
He's obviously very happy at this stage of the race. He thinks maybe the race is coming to an end under yellow, which is going to be an incredible finish. But he drove superbly. He's done a very good race all throughout the duration of it.
All through 1997, he was looking at IndyCars as his immediate future. They asked him to stay another year, get some more seasoning. He's doing that and apparently succeeding. We'll be back. Helio Castroneves has his second win of the year, and tires were an issue.
Yeah, definitely the tire, especially the yellow flag, was really tough. But of course, Tasman was believe me. I was really handling it well the whole race, whole weekend, and that's all. I just have to thank Marlboro, everybody, LCI, Drama. They believe me, and I believe them.
The victory has moved him into the points lead by a relatively wide margin over Chris Simmons. Paese, his first points of the year, into 10th position as you take a look at our top 10 in the championship. Next time, we're at another new venue in St. Louis, Missouri. Join us for that broadcast at round 5 of the PPG Firestone Indy Lights Championship. Next up on the Deuce, RPM Tonight. On behalf of Mark Blundell and Marty Reed, I'm Chris McClure. So long from Savannah.